I would ask everyone in Ireland, everyone listening to this, please share this video, because this is a perfect example how government, media, Garda play down all these attacks that we're seeing. This is how they play it down. This is how they keep people in a state of, well, one, it inadvertently causes fear, for one, because there's people in Ireland now that are just walking around thinking everything is fine and dandy, when all of a sudden, you'll hear this woman's story. All of a sudden, things can change in an instance now. Like how you want to go and celebrate St. Patrick's Day, and you go to get on a train, but you can't because some foreign lad has came over and basically threatened you and told you that he's going to throw you and your son on the electric rails. Well, which then leads to the son not being, you can't get back on a train now. You see what I mean? You see the lasting, people always talk about the initial attacks, that all this stuff that's going on, but they don't talk about who it affects, and the long lasting effects of such attacks on people. It's like mass psychological warfare, because let's face it, the Irish government have let these people in. They've welcomed them in. We all know that. But when they do come over here, and it's picking up big time now, it's like every day there's multiple stories every day. What am I saying? There's so much I can't cover it all. I tried. Oh God, I do try to keep up with it all, but there's so many blatant stories now from people in different counties about these males attacking them, or smashing up something because they can't get, or going into a post office and threatening people because he missed his signing date for the dole, and when he goes in to get it, they tell him, "Oh no, you missed your last signing date. You have to go and sign on." Then he starts threatening them. All these sort of things. It's like psychological warfare. Anyways, have a listen to this. This Prendeville fella, always undermining the Irish people. This guy is, but of course he's part of the establishment, so that's what he's going to do. He's like that Jeremy, and who are them two clowns? Jeremy and the other Adrian. Adrian and Jeremy, yous are absolute fucking traitor bastards. Leave the country, yous traitors. And the likes of this Prendeville fella, he's another one. Wait till you hear how he tries to play down everything this woman says. Or he doesn't go full scale, but it's the main points. Like, for instance, when the woman says he was a man of colour, well, we'll just say man. Right? Listen.
Much obliged, Dan. Text 0868 104 106. Back after the break. Calls on the way.
Call Neil now. 0818 104 106.
The Neil Prendeville Show on Red FM.
Okay, back to the phone lines we go. Trish, good morning.
Good morning, Neil. How are you?
I'm a lot better than you, I'd say. I'm a lot better than you. What happened?
So that's a point. That's a point we can say there. I'm a lot better than you are. Tell me what's happened. So they obviously, when you ring into these places, they ask you and they ring you back and they say, go on then, tell us a little 30 seconds about what you want to talk about, So in a way, you could look at that as a type of vetting of people, like the stories that they want to hear or they want to go on air. And then there's other ones that were like, well, we can't, like, all right, thanks for calling in. And then they never call those people back, But they let this woman up to talk about this guy. So have a listen.
So I'm going to do my best to keep it together now because it's a delayed reaction, to be quite honest with you, Neil, this morning. So I'm going to just do my best to hold it together. So
it's probably shock, in fairness, love. It's probably shock because in Ireland, we're not used to people coming up to us when we're at a train station and telling us that they're going to throw us and our child over onto electric rails. We're not used to that. We're a somewhat civilized society in Ireland. And these are animals that they're bringing in who have no control over themselves. They're just animals, real animalistic.
I live in Little Island, and I decided that we go to the Cove Parade yesterday, myself and my 7-year-old son. I was meeting other family down there. So, the Cove side say that we would have entered from the train station.
Mm-hmm.
So we went in, got on the platform, and we were all kind of kitted out for the day that it was. And immediately we were confronted by, he was a coloured man. I would have said Nigerian. Okay, that's what I would have
We don't know.
that he was, where he was from. We don't know.
Right.
And this is what I just want.
There, did you hear that? She's like, I don't know. I thought he was Nigerian by like the look of him, and he's like, oh well, we don't know. A man. It was just a man, and that's what the mainstream media do. They just say, Cork man arrested for blah blah blah. Cork man, They'd normally name these people, but of course they can't. Oh, sorry about that. Of course they can't, because it's more than likely going to be a bleeding Quincy Wusu or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Or a Lucky something. Those type of names. But let's just call it a man. Yeah, thanks, Neil Prendeville, you little traitor scumbag.
And to be very, very clear, this is not what I'm making this about.
Male, yeah.
Okay, this is not.
And sure, look, you can even hear it this is not what I'm talking about. He's making her feel bad for even suggesting that there's a chance that this man that attacked him or threatened him, that there's a chance that man was from Nigeria. No, we'll just say man.
Not what this is about. So we got on the platform. He started.
Little Island platform.
Little Island platform.
Okay, go ahead.
Going to Cove.
Yeah.
My 7-year-old son. So he immediately kind of came towards us and started shouting and roaring at us, had a bag in his hand. And then he made a gesture to myself and my 7-year-old. It was a gesture because he was shouting in his own language that he was going to throw us off the platform.
Right. How did you interpret that that's what he wished to do?
It was very...
Did you hear that? Did you hear what he just said there? I'm going to go back here for people. These are the things people you need to listen out for when they say things like this.
That he was going to throw us off the platform.
Right. How did you interpret that that's what he wished to do?
How did you interpret that he wanted to, or he was telling you that he wanted to throw you and your child off onto an electric rail at a train station? If you don't understand what language he's speaking. So in a way, it's an admittance that the man was using a foreign language, but still just a man, Even though he's using a foreign language, still just a man. See? Drilling that. That's what they constantly drill into people. And I know you always tell you can tell a lot by a person's intent just by their body movements. So if he's standing there pointing at them and then pointing at the rails, what do you think how do you interpret that? Do you know what I mean? It's quite simple. The body language tells you fucking everything. And Prendeville knows this, but wants you to emphasize on the fact that how could you understand the language? Do you get me? These people, I swear to God, are constantly trying to undermine us.
It was very easy to interpret. I didn't understand the language, but I definitely understood what he was trying to insinuate to us. It was very obvious, Neil, what he was insinuating.
Okay, thank you.
He pointed at me and my son. He made a gesture to throw onto the platform.
Go ahead. What happened next?
So
he's hoping, Prendeville is hoping that the woman trips up and says something that he can catch her out on. That's why he's so willing to let her continue it. He's looking for other things that he can jump in on and, correct her.
I was very frightened because at the other side you've got the train destined for Kent, and that was a lot more busier, Neil, okay? And what really kind of scared me was nobody came to our aid.
That's a big part I want to shout out. And this is why I want you all to share it. Because I'm speaking directly now to everyone in Ireland. That woman, that Irish woman, was going to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, yeah, with her child. And she has to go out and face that. Just because she wants to go out and celebrate. You just put yourself in her shoes. And she's saying that there was people around, but nobody did anything. Why is people not doing anything? Intervene. Stand up for yourselves. Because once again, like the corruption that goes unchecked, if people just stand by and let this shit happen, it's just going to get worse and worse. It doesn't get better. All these foreigners, they don't just turn around one day and you know what, lads, let's just stop harassing people. Let's just be quiet and, collect our dole every week, get our electric scooters for nothing, get a roof over our head and not cause any trouble. Let's just keep our heads down. They're not going to keep their heads down because they're not like us. They're not used to living in a civilized society, These are really bad people that they're flooding their country with. And Irish people just stood by and let this Irish woman and her child be harassed.
Man was shouting and roaring at us. We were terrified, and I wasn't going to approach him. He had a bag with him. But then about 5 minutes later, Neil, a lovely couple came on the platform from Dublin Hill, and he started on them as well, and then another few people. So there was a few of us there, and I said, this is not safe for this man to get on a train. I rang Cove Garda Station. They were amazing. They were really good. They said, look, we'll meet him off the train. But we were talking amongst ourselves saying, this can't be safe to leave this man on the train. So with that, we dialed 999.
So even when she rang the guards to tell them about this individual, they were like, don't worry, at the next stop. So still get on the train with this individual who's threatening you, and we'll be there at the next stop, Because they're probably waiting, well, we can't do anything unless he actually physically assaults one of you or anything like this. But they've no problem going out and telling people, you can't be saying that out here, you've offended people, so you can't be talking like that. And they go up to these Christian readers or whatever, and they tell them, well, we've had a few calls now that you've offended someone, so you're going to have to stop reading them words. That shit happens. That shit happens on a daily. But yeah, here they are telling this woman, even though you've given us the details, and he does sound quite threatening, this guy, she'll get on the train with him, stay on it for 5-10 minutes, whatever it is, till the next stop, and then we'll be there to meet him at the next stop. Isn't that great? That's your Garda for you. Your guardians for you, huh? Gobshite traitors as well.
And within minutes, say the train pulled up, Neil. The lady on the...
You know what? I'll put the link for the entire video. There's another 5 minutes of her going on. The only reason nothing actually happened on this train is because the Irish female train driver refused to leave the station because she got informed by multiple people that this guy was a threat. So she refused to leave the station. Huh? So not only are they over here harassing our people, but they're also causing train delays. And we know what that causes people stress as well, You're at a train, you're like, where the fuck is this train? Been here in an hour type of thing, That's all stress as well for people. And delaying the trains. So yeah, I'll put the link because it's rather frustrating listening to these stories, but we have to reveal these people like Prendeville, who are constantly undermining people and reaffirming the NPCs and the NGO type lefty types that they're on the right side when they're basically just undermining us and allowing the flooding to continue and the harassment of our people. I can't believe nobody at that train station stepped in and fucking did something. He's threatening an Irish woman and her child. Fuck's sake.